Hi, it's Mark here again. I'm just going to do the billiard scoring as a separate video. I got a bit waylaid last time. I'm not going to bother logging in as a particular team captains and that. I'll just do it under my own admin. All the information that you'll see will be much the same as you'll see. I'm assuming you've already gone through the scoring, the snooker scoring side of things to see how you get in and set your team up. And done the approval process. This separate one for the billiards is just to show the difference between the screens for your billiard guys. Okay, so we're already 2 or 3 rounds into season 1 of 2024, so I'm going to use round 4 next week, on the 4th of March, I should say, next Monday, and just score one of the matches there just to show you the difference between it. It's not huge, but there is a difference. Okay, I'll take the top 2 teams there on the round 4 on the 4th of March. And before I do that, I'm just going to minimize the screen or reduce it so it looks a bit more like a phone. So there. Okay, so we have round 4. Brunswick AM are playing Kooyong Goal. So I'm just going to go and open and deal with that match. You can see it looks very much the same as the others, the snooker score sheet. You'll note that different, and the adding the players is exactly the same. The tells you whose team you're dealing with, all the saved players and all that is exactly the same. The only real difference is that we have a tier now in billiards, and we have a difference between the raw score, which is the off the stick score, for a bit of a term, and the actual score calculated on the night. All the actual conversion of the raw score times tier differential happens in the background and is presented on the approvals page. So let's just do some scoring here. I'm going to add some players to that score sheet. I'm just going to bang, 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 and bang. Now you'll see it's picked up the tier for those players. The tier is held in the system from 1 week to the next. So Amol's tier is tier 4. I've not obviously not selected these guys in tier order, which you would normally do. So John would normally be your first player. So disregard that. But it picks up the tier last year's, and if a tier hasn't been allocated, you've got a new player, it'll come up with a 0, and it's up to you to override, as it says here. Just check to make sure that the tier presented is the actual tier. The list of tiers is published on the scores page for you to get the tier from. Okay, so the players are normally in tier order. I'll go back and change them. I'll put John first, Dinesh second, Amol fourth, John first, Dinesh second, Amol third, and I forget who the other one was. Perhaps John. Let's see whether it puts them in. Let's put them in tier order now. Okay, so we have our team. And we can now put their raw score. So this is the score off the stick, and maybe they scored 250. Maybe had a break of 54. Dinesh had a raw score of 225. Amol had a raw score of 185, and John Bennett had a raw score of 168. Okay, I'm now going to save those scores. And the score sheet has been saved and okay. I'm now going to go to the opposition score sheet, and I can do that as admin person. You would normally not be able to do that until the team's in there. Okay, so we're now in the opposition team, which is Kooyong Gold, the away team. Let's add some players in there. Again, I have no idea. I have a bit of an idea, I suppose, of what the playing order might be. But I'll guess it anyway. It's close enough. Again, we'll add some scores in here. David had a big night. And Dale and Martin had 189. Remembering in billiards, of course, any score is possible off the stick, and there are also possible to have draws in billiards. Won't bother with any, Brian. We'll give a nice break to David. I'll save those scores. We're now going to go to the approvals page, and this is where all the magic happens. You'll see that it presents the raw score, and above it, it presents the final score. So the two tiers are compared and the tier multiplier are applied. And you'll see in this case that both John and David are off the same tier, so there should be a straight conversion of their scores. But you see Dinesh is a tier 3 and Alistair's a tier 4, so Dinesh's score remains the same, but Alistair's is adjusted by the appropriate tier adjustment. Again, all those adjustments are made down the ladder. And the overall results are compared, and whether it's a win, a loss, or a draw is determined in the little boxes here. And ultimately, we have 3 games won to Brunswick and 1 game won to Keon Gold. Now, in billiards, there is the games won is one aspect of it, but the points being accumulated for those games is different. For every win, there are 2 game points allocated to that team. So in this situation here, they've won 3 games, so there will be 6 game points earned by Brunswick AM and just 2 game points earned by Keon Gold. Okay, I'm just going to go back for 1 second into the Brunswick sheet, and I'm going to make it a draw between John and David. So I'm going to make John the 3-2-1 as well. So I'm going to edit that sheet and make John 3-2-1 and save that, just to show you what it looks like. And we'll go back to the approvals page, and now it's a draw between the 2 players. It's not a win or a loss, it's a draw. And you have down the bottom, it says there's games won and there's games drawn. So the upshot of that is that there should be 7 points earned by Brunswick AM, 3 wins at 2 points a win, and 1 draw, which is worth 1 point. Okay, so again, we just approving here, both teams. Approving for the away team. You'll see now that the opportunity to edit has disappeared. Both teams are ticked as being approved. And the final step again is to return to the fixture page for billiards. And you'll see that there is, rather than a 3.5 half result, you'll see that it's all doubled with the 2 points per win applied. So Brunswick have earned themselves 7 points, and Keon Gold have earned themselves 1 point. As you know, the snooker ladders, the billiards ladders this year is all based on game points. There's no longer match points being determined, which is where if you won the overall match, you got 4 points for a win and 2 points for a draw. It's all based entirely on the number of game points. Game points is, as I said, 2 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. Okay, so I'm going to just clear those results out because they don't want to impact next week, but that's pretty much it. As I said, the key thing is to always return to the fixture page to make sure you've got the 2 greens against your team. If for any reason one of them is not green, it's red, then you need to return into the actual results and reapprove or do whatever it is it needs doing to get you the green shading on here. Okay, with that, I'm going to stop recording and thank you very much for listening. Cheers. Good billiards.